Hi everyone. Today's for today's world session, we're doing things a little bit differently. I had an awareness, actually doing the most, mundane life things of vacuuming, and just share a little bit of my thought process, or no, not my thought process. I don't want to share my thought process. That's not interesting. Or valuable or anything. What I want to share is my new awareness with you. So while I was vacuuming, um, I came it's funny because I'm also a soul responsibility instructor, and it took me up until now, and it's been a few years that I've been teaching and doing this course, that I have to date have not found an antidote to that is more powerful than taking full responsibility for myself. As soon as I take responsibility for myself, regardless of what is happening in my life, once I am fully responsible for myself, once I take that responsibility for my feelings, my emotions, my body, whatever is happening, my behaviors, I am empowered. And that energy shifts absolutely everything. It changes and it transforms everything. It's almost as if by magic. I have no idea what happens. So I'm going through a situation where I'm dealing with a difficult person, and I've been wanting to avoid them. I've been wanting for other people to take care of it for me. I've been hiding and been feeling very disempowered. And as soon as I switch and I take full responsibility for my avoidance, as soon as I take full responsibility for my thoughts, my beliefs about that person, the way that I've been behaving knowingly or unknowingly, I feel empowered. And then I can take practical action in my life, whatever that is. I can take practical steps to support myself. But as long as I stay and blame victim, as long as I play the martyr, then I'm going to be disempowered. It disempowers me, and it keeps me stuck in the very thing that I don't want. So you can think for yourself how you do that within your life. And we're going to do something very different today. Instead of going into a world session of a body talk session, Zuda agreed to be taken through a soul responsibility process. So you can see this for yourself. You can experience it for yourself. And also the work, just like body talk, there may be aspects of the story that you relate to, or behaviors or things that you relate to. So Zuda shift is also can be felt worldwide. It's for everyone. That's the power of group work. So thanks, Zuda. I'm not going to usually through soul responsibility, I write the sentences, but we're not going to do that today. Um, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and begin. I would first say that your steps are confidential, but we're doing it differently. So that's going to be out there for everyone. So thank you for sharing this with everybody, Zuda. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So let's just go quiet together for a moment. Thank you, Zuda. What are you struggling with?
Struggling with not being on my own, not having my own apartment or a house.
does that represent for you? There's so, what does having, there's something there between having your own apartment, having your own house. There's something, a layer underneath that. So what would that, if you had your own apartment or you had your own house, what would that mean for you?
Will be setting it up the way I wanted it to be and having the environment very clean and organized and be able to invite people to
So let's
have
try to put that into a short sentence. Try to put that into a really nice short sentence. Having my own space means
I get to set it up the way I want it. And
no, not and. So having my own space means I get to set it up the way I want. So there's something there. So you have your own apartment. You're struggling with not having your own apartment. You want your own apartment. You want to set it up the way that you want it.
mostly to be free.
There you go. There it is. All right, you ready?
Yes.
I take full responsibility for thinking I am not free now.
I take full responsibility for thinking that I'm not free now.
I take full responsibility for thinking the only way I can be free is to have my own apartment.
I take full responsibility for thinking that the only way I can be free is to have my own apartment.
Oh, take a nice deep breath. Oh, there's a shift on that one. Can you be free without having your own apartment?
To some extent,
Well, you're within your space, are you not?
yes.
Mm. I take full responsibility for being free now.
I take full responsibility for being free now.
I take full responsibility for thinking outside things make me free.
I take full responsibility for thinking that outside things makes me free.
I take full responsibility for thinking my freedom depends on others.
I take full responsibility for thinking that my freedom depends on others.
Do you understand that sentence, Suda?
Yes. I feel like now I'm depending on others, not like that's where I want to get out of depending on others.
I take full responsibility for depending on others.
I take full responsibility for depending on others.
I take full responsibility for not wanting to depend on others.
I take full responsibility for not wanting to depend on others.
Is it possible to always, to never need help?
No, it's not.
Let's say you have your own apartment. Is it possible within your own apartment you would still need help?
Yes.
And so does help mean that you're dependent? I take full responsibility for thinking receiving help means I am dependent.
I take full responsibility for thinking that needing help means
He glitched. You see, the mind came in and glitched. I take full responsibility
I take full responsibility
for thinking
for thinking
that help
that help
means I am dependent on others.
that means I'm dependent on others.
I take full responsibility for confusing help with dependency.
I take full responsibility for the
I take full responsibility for confusing help with dependency.
I take full responsibility for confusing help with dependency.
Yeah. That one's loosening something up, eh, Suda? I could feel it through your nervous system and shaking off of the heart. How are you feeling?
Kind of like floating kind of thing.
I take full responsibility for receiving help.
I take full responsibility for receiving help.
Okay. I take full responsibility for receiving.
I take full responsibility for receiving.
I take full responsibility for feeling uncomfortable with receiving.
I take full responsibility for feeling uncomfortable with receiving.
So what happens? What do you think about receiving help? Someone's helping you. How does that make you feel? How do you feel when receiving help?
I don't mind receiving help, but I feel like it's been like I haven't been in a position for a very long time, for a few decades, which is a lot. Like moving from one place to another, looking for shelter and stuff. So it's not the receiving of help. I'm like open, but when it becomes like a constant where, constantly.
I take full responsibility for wishing I didn't need to receive help.
I take full responsibility for wishing that I didn't need to receive help.
What does that one do for you, Suda?
Makes me sad.
I take full responsibility for feeling sad.
I take full responsibility for feeling sad.
I take full responsibility for my life.
I take full responsibility for my life.
What's happening now?
I feel like I am actually not taking responsibility for my life.
I take full responsibility for blaming others for helping me.
I take full responsibility for blaming others for helping me.
I take full responsibility for asking for help.
I take full responsibility for asking for help.
I take full responsibility for feeling angry when I receive the help.
I take full responsibility for feeling hungry when I receive the help.
I take full responsibility for getting exactly what I asked for.
I take full responsibility for getting exactly what I asked for.
Do you see that, Zuda? Is that clear?
Yeah.
You need help, you ask for help. You ask for guidance or however it is that you need help. Whatever it is, you need support or you need help. So you ask for help. You receive the help in one way or another, whether it be through friends or, like you said, helping hands or having a place to stay or however you receive the help. And then you go, I don't want to be helped. I want to do it all on my own. Do you see the conflict? Well, not really conflict, but do you see, is that clear? Or is that something that's confusing?
It's not confusing. I am grateful for the help that
No,
I
no, no,
get.
no, no. I'm not saying you're not grateful. So when we're doing soul responsibility, I didn't mean to cut you off, Zuda. When we're doing soul responsibility, it's not a judgment upon your behaviors or your actions.
Mm.
It's not something that you're doing consciously. It's not to say that you're ungrateful. This is the underlying story. We're looking at all that stuff that's not necessarily easy to look at on your own. So we're not looking at the healthy aspect. Of course, you're grateful. I don't doubt for a second that you feel grateful that you've received the help.
What I wanted to say is there is a but. When I said I feel grateful,
But sorry,
I,
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Zuda.
yeah, but I wish that I have, I will, I am capable of, I have the opportunity to stand on my own without the help.
I take full responsibility for thinking I am incapable without others.
I take full responsibility for thinking that I'm incapable without the others.
I take full responsibility for thinking the only way I can stand on my own 2 feet is with others.
I take full responsibility for thinking that the only way I can stand on my own 2 feet is with others.
I take full responsibility for standing on my own 2 feet, even with others.
I take full responsibility for
Uh, I take full responsibility for standing on my own 2 feet,
I take
even with others.
I take full responsibility for standing on my own 2 feet, even with others.
I take full responsibility for my capability does not depend on others.
I take full responsibility for my capability not depending on others.
I take full responsibility for being capable.
I take full responsibility for being capable.
I take full responsibility for standing up on my own 2 feet.
I take full responsibility for standing up on my own 2 feet.
I take full responsibility for standing up on my own 2 feet, even when receiving help.
I take full responsibility for standing on my own 2 feet, even when receiving help.
I take full responsibility for myself.
I take full responsibility for myself.
I take full responsibility for my life.
I take full responsibility for my life.
Do you have the ability to respond to your life, Zuda? No,
Sometimes,
it's yet. Yes or no? Do you have the ability to respond to your life?
yeah,
Yeah or yes?
yes,
So say the sentence. I have the ability to respond to my life.
I have the ability to respond to my life.
Will you use your ability to respond to your life?
Yes, I'll
Uh,
use my ability.
yes, I will use my ability to respond to my life.
Yes, I'll use my ability to respond to my life.
How do you feel now, Zuda?
Elijah,
You feel empowered?
yes.
Put your left hand on your heart. Is there anything else coming up? Is there anything else? Don't think.
No, I was thinking I take full responsibility for being incapable.
But is it true that you're incapable?
No,
I take full responsibility for seeing the lie, I am incapable.
I take full responsibility for saying the lie I'm incapable of.
I don't think, Zuda, that you would have made it this far into how many years of your adult life if you were incapable. And if you were really, truly incapable, you would not be sitting here doing this work. Or getting through every day. You are more capable than you think. And the lie is that you tell yourself is I am incapable. And then the defense and the coping mechanism goes into, well, since I believe I am incapable, I must need others to help me stand on my own 2 feet, because I am incapable of doing it myself. But is that any of that true? So when other people help you, who's really helping you? It's a bad question. It's a
Me,
confusing question. Yes, you. You need help. And so you help yourself by asking for help. Isn't it? I take full responsibility for helping myself.
I take full responsibility for helping myself.
Even if that means asking for others' help.
Even if that means asking for others' help.
Doesn't always mean I'm going to need help. Sometimes I will need help, and sometimes I won't. That does not mean anything about me and my capability to stand on my own 2 feet. I can feel that shaking through your nervous system, Zuda. How are you feeling?
Okay.
Are you still feeling light and empowered, or is there something else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you forgive yourself?
Yes. I forgive myself.
Just put your left hand on your heart. I forgive myself for everything that is, has, and will happen.
I forgive myself for everything that is, has, and will happen.
Thank you so much, Zuda. That was beautiful work.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you.